Hello, everybody. My name is Eoin Colfer, and I am the author of, I think, 45 books now about various things. I suppose Artemis Fowl would be the one that everybody knows, that one there. But also stuff like Illegal, which I love. And I'm allowed legally to say this is great because I didn't do those amazing illustrations. That was Giovanni Rigano, the wonderful Italian artist. And I didn't write all of the story. I wrote half, but the other half was written by Mr. Andrew Donkin. You see his name there underneath mine. But that's only because our names are done alphabetically. And what I would like to talk about today is creative writing, not just the process, but the importance of creative writing. I'm a teacher, or I was a teacher for 15 years, and I used creative writing and storytelling as one of my primary tools because sometimes if you are trying to teach something to young people, if you hide it inside a story, you sneak it in like a Trojan horse, people enjoy learning it and they remember what you've taught them because it was told in an entertaining fashion. But it doesn't always have to be a teaching tool. I mean, it can just be for the pure enjoyment of it because your life is going to be a lot easier. You see that little subtle glance on my phone there because I'm keeping an eye out for my son. Your life is going to be so much easier if you're able to read. I mean, and if you're good at reading because when you get to third level, or even in secondary school, the teacher or the lecturer will often say to you, read this book by next week. And often it's a big, thick, historical tome. And if you're used to reading, that is no problem. You just say, what, just one book? Yeah, sure. But if you're not used to reading, that can seem like an insurmountable obstacle to have to read a big, thick book in a single week. So my advice to you, if you want your life to be easier, if you want your life to be happier, more well-rounded, read a book. From personal experience, I know that if I'm ever feeling down about something, I write my way through it. So if I have a problem, I try to write my way out the other side. And even if I don't write about what I'm feeling, or even if I don't think about what I'm writing about what I'm feeling, my subconscious sends it bubbling to the top. And before I know it, that problem is on a page. And the old saying is a problem shared is a problem halved. And if you can share that problem with the page and then from there to several readers, maybe hundreds of readers, maybe millions of readers, the problem diminishes and sometimes disappears altogether. So even though I write mostly about, fairies, leprechauns, that kind of thing, the truth is that these books are actually about my family and my friends. And if you take off those fairy wings, you will find out that it's a real person underneath with real problems and problems that I have either come across or experienced myself. So I would advise you, and I can't say it enough, to read books. And it doesn't even have to be one of my books, although they're probably the best. You can even read Cressida's books, which are pretty darn good, it has to be said. So how do I write? Um, People often ask me, what are your tips for young writers? And it's a very hard thing to give tips for because everybody's individual. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses that they need to work on. But there are a few things that I think are pretty universal. The first two, every writer will tell you, you got to read a little bit every day. It's like you have to read. I do know people who try to be writers and who don't read. That's like trying to, turn up at the Wimbledon finals and expect to play if you've never played tennis before, you don't know the rules. It's just not going to work. So if you want to be a top class writer or any kind of writer, it doesn't matter what class you are. The important thing is to write. Then you've got to practice. When I was in school, back when TV was in black and white, we were always told to keep diaries. I suppose that has now been replaced by blogs. But sometimes that can feel like a lot of pressure and a lot of work. And while writing is a lot of work, it shouldn't feel like a lot of work initially. It should feel like a joy. So I would say just write about what you want to write, just write the length you want to write. Sometimes I just do maybe 2 hours work a day, and then other days I do 14 hours. It depends how enthusiastic I'm feeling on that day. I think it's more the shorter ones, the shorter times uh, these days. So anyway, the tips: you gotta read as much as you can. You gotta write a little bit every day. Don't necessarily knock yourself out, but a little bit. Even one sentence a day is worth doing because you will learn from that. But the third one that people don't often tell you, and this is especially relevant, I think, for younger writers, is that don't shut yourself away. Sometimes teenagers, they get a little down on themselves or a little hard on themselves, and they just sit inside all the time and write and write and write. Uh, and I don't think that's a great idea. I think you need to get outside, um, mix with people, form those memories that are going to be the reservoir of your experiences for the rest of your life. If you don't get out there and meet people and do things, then you're going to run out of ideas. And it's as simple as that. So you've got to just occasionally go out. And even if you don't have someone to hang around with, you can still go to the park or you can still go to the library and watch. Now, don't watch like in a creepy psycho murder way, like just watch in a nice, subtle way at all the people, all the life happening all around you, and then jot that all down. Every single little thing that you find interesting. It does not have to be connected to what you're working on. It does not have to be the next chapter of your book. It can just be an independent idea, and you'll be amazed that your subconscious or your unconscious will put all those ideas together like a little jigsaw. And before you know where you are, you'll have a story on your hands. So I have, several folders on the desktop of my computer with various ideas, and there would be hundreds of ideas in there. And some are whole book ideas, and then some are tiny, tiny one-line ideas about a bird I saw sitting on a wall or something. And you'd be surprised how rarely these things are wasted. In fact, there's no such thing as waste in writing because everything is learning. You get better and better with every sentence that you write. And it's never ending. You're never going to reach a point where you say, well, now I'm amazing. I'm just going to stop learning now and just write genius stuff. And if you do say that, I think you're in trouble. So you have to keep writing, keep learning, keep practicing, keep reading, and keep writing. Now, once you get there, maybe you've written, I don't know, 100, 200 little stories, and you decide, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to write my first novel. What do you do? Well, the first thing I do, I'm just going to tell you what I do. It's different for every writer, uh, but I like to do a plan. Now, it's not that long. I know some people spend a long time planning. I don't. And some people spend a long time researching in the beginning. I don't. I research the piece I need when I get to that piece in the book. Luckily, research is very easy to do now. You just tap it into Google, or you just tap it into your search engine, and then it pops up, and it's really easy to do. And you can write about places you've never been, uh, and about characters you've never met, which is quite handy. It's difficult to do it with authenticity, but it can be done. That's why I try and write about places that don't exist, so nobody can contradict me. Stay safe, and I'll see you all out in the wide world in autumn. This is Eoin Colfer saying goodbye.